And welcome to the Talon Outdoor Show. I'm Charlie.
I'm JD.
I'm Fred.
I'm Captain Paul Tire.
I couldn't hear you.
Paul?
And I'm Grant.
Can't hear me.
I needed to turn
Try
your
that
butt-
again, Paul.
Try that.
Captain Paul Tire.
There we go.
Hey,
There you go.
gang's all here.
Most shows should start over again and start recording from the beginning. Not
We're-
us.
we're not radio
We're not
professionals.
professional radio. There you go. Oh, man, I left the house a little while ago. So my wife's been working a lot of hours lately, and, things happen. She's, as a supervisor of the communications section at Jackson County Sheriff's Office, sometimes she has to fill in. Well, I didn't think about that when I encouraged her to take the job. She's like, well, I said, yeah, maybe it'd be good. You'd be the boss and everything. And she is. And
long as everybody shows
now
up to work.
it's like owning your own business. I come home. I'm running late. I'm going, oh, my wife's going to be upset with me. I'm 2 hours late. I roll in 8:30 at night. And that's late for me. That's 2 hours late because normally I should roll in around 6 or 7. Mm-hmm. And I think, well, she's going to be upset. I get to the house. I'm sitting there an hour later looking at Life 360 going, she's still at the dadgum office. And
You got to track her on the phone?
Are you coming home? I've been waiting 3 or 4 hours now. Uh-huh. And no, she said, well, something came up. So bless her heart, she works her butt off. But today, we're recording on Friday. I left the house to come to Tallahassee, and she hadn't left yet. I'm like, hey, you
Ain't
you just blowing off work today? Now, she didn't come in at like 9 or 9:30 last night, so it was. I said, well, I'm going in at noon. I said, okay. So it gives me an opportunity to have a good time. So I walk in, and our radio salesperson up in the Dothan area, Laura Suki, she's if y'all are listening in the Dothan area, she's great for providing radio advertising, everything. You can probably get a slot on our show if you're interested in advertising on this show in the Dothan market. Back one of the special events, holiday something, she gave me a Alexa, one of those little, it's got the video screen on it, it's a little small one. And I have it set that every night at a certain time, you'll be sitting there and my wife will be cooking dinner, and all of a sudden it'll be, the weather in Marietta tomorrow will be, and about half the time it gets her. Well, this morning I'm walking out the door and I said, Alexa, play jungle sounds. And I started turning the volume up. And then Alexa's like, if you'd like to try jungle sounds, you can try such and such an app for free. And I'm like, oh, that's a trial for free. That's going to cost me money. I said, no. He goes, well, if you'd like to play jungle sounds, I said, how long would you like to play jungle sounds? I'm like, 2 hours. He goes, you can't play jungle sounds longer than 30 minutes without trying this app. Here, would you like to try I'm having this. I'm like, would you be quiet and stop talking to me so I can just get some mute? And the whole time I'm trying to keep my voice down where my wife can't hear it because she has bionic hearing and she can hear everything, and so I just turned it up just loud enough when it finally started making jungle noises. I turned it up just loud enough where I knew she could hear it through the closed door of the bedroom, but not loud enough to be obnoxious. And as I got out, but before I could crank up my truck, I get a text message, and it's all caps. Really?
So,
I still haven't responded.
Jungle sounds. I mean,
Crickets,
what on earth?
Frogs and crickets. Yeah,
just annoying.
He's weird.
I mean, it's like monkeys.
Every now and then you'll hear monkey. That's exactly what it is.
Hey, you'll be able to come to above Bainbridge. They're going to put a monkey farm up there. Well, I heard they were going. They're not now.
They can't.
Praise the Lord on that. People were upset about that.
There was going to be a monkey city in Decatur County in Georgia.
There was something I heard on the news this week about a gang of monkeys that were violent monkeys that were running around terrorizing somebody. I think it's in Thailand.
Oh yeah,
they do that there.
Oh man, it's dangerous.
These are like,
it's dangerous.
Like the Crips and the Bloods, monkeys.
Oh my gosh, that's a monkey gang.
Yeah,
I
guess they got like handkerchiefs and.
No, they basically tourists have fed them for so long that they now expect food from the tourists. So when you show up there, they come up there and essentially demand food from the tourist, and they steal pocketbooks and cameras and
they sell crack?
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't know about all that, but I know that there's a lot of videos.
They got their own cartel.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're they plant stuff in your bag and wait for you to get across town and get it back out again.
Sophisticated monkey. So I decided I was going to cut back on the martinis a little bit, from 10 to 6, and
an hour.
Yeah. So I guess it was Tuesday night. We had that bad storm come through.
Did we?
Yeah, and I saw it was about to come through, and I realized I'd left the irrigation on in the garden. I was already in bed.
Is anything ripe in that garden
yet? Not yet.
Where's it at?
When's
it going to be ripe? I'm going to call Sammy Dixon and tell him.
Yeah, he knows. So I go down to turn the irrigation off, and the garden said I didn't want to be waterlogged next morning. And I had my boxers on, just threw a pair of flip-flops on, walked down to the garden. It's late at night, nobody's up,
Not going to scare anybody.
Yeah, not going to scare anybody. And so the dog, he's got to go with me just to see what I'm doing. So it's pretty dark. And so I walk down the garden, turn the irrigation off. I'm walking back, and doggone armadillo comes running across the yard. I'm like, I'm going to get that dude. So I go in the house. I grab the suppressed AR-15, complete with the combat strap. And I'm walking around out in the yard with a flashlight and a dog trying to find that armadillo in a pair of flip-flops and boxers. My wife wakes up, comes outside, looks at me walking around in combat ready.
Combat ready Bermuda shorts or boxer shorts?
Boxer shorts.
And a little white van showed up with two guys with a straitjacket.
Fishnets.
And she looks at me and she says, "You have got to stop drinking."
The lit elf. The lit elf was on the prowl.
And I was
being productive. There was a logical reason. See, women don't understand men. We are, and it was funny because the other day, a buddy over there, Joe Baxley's wife, she's got Mimi's Bakery, makes all the cheesecakes and stuff, and she shared a post on Facebook, and it was, this is literally my life, and it was, the meme was something about me asking every day the rest of my life, what are your thoughts for dinner, to the husband, and then all the women started reacting to it. Yeah, absolutely. That's exactly what. And I'm like, listen, men have a duty not to respond to that, because if we provide feedback, then we indicate what's our favorite food or what we don't like that they cook, or we may suggest something that we might not have enough stuff in the refrigerator, which could then generate work. We have to go to the grocery store, generate more work for her, or it could be something that's harder for her to prepare. And so we have a duty to just I don't care.
I will go beyond that. In that, if you make it, what do you want for dinner? Well, I was kind of thinking I wanted some chicken wings, some fried, whatever, hot wings. No, I don't want that. I'm like, well, then why the hell? Don't ask me. If you ask me what I want and I tell you, that'll be the end of the conversation, right? Yeah. There don't be no debate beyond that point. If you gonna, because I don't really honestly care as long as I'm not going to bed hungry.
Well, here's the thing is give me I like multiple choice questions.
That's a great idea.
I love taking those tests because there's always a couple options that are just automatically out. And then you narrow it down to one or two that are decent answers. And then, so my response generally is, I don't know, what are my choices? I said, we ought to have a menu. And I hate to make it sound like a servant, but we ought to have a menu. And I want one of those spinning wheels on the refrigerator. And I want one for the main course, and one for the first side dish, and one for the second side dish. And that way, you got your vegetables, you got your starches, and you got your meats, and then you just spin it. And then if you don't have that thing, well, then move on to the next thing and go, because I don't care what we eat. I don't care. Make whatever you want. And if you don't cook, I just need to know you're not going to cook, or I'm not going to cook. Because if I say, now, listen, I do the breakfast on the weekends when, the mood strikes me. I don't cook in the house. Like, there's things I can do, and if she says, hey, can you make so-and-so? Absolutely, I'll make it. Like chili. I do chili, and I do things that I don't run the grill because she's way, dude, my wife can run a grill like a master chef. So why would I? Because my stuff is crap and her stuff is delicious. I can't find a steak better than her steak. There's different steaks, but not better steaks.
Yeah, we gotta address this.
Yeah.
We're
talking man card revocation.
Yeah,
we'll be back.
Yeah.
I'm using that this week because she always asks me. I'm like,
That's what I was wondering. I'm like,
just
Paul,
like
are you making notes?
You damn right I took a note. I'm gonna be like, hey, babe, what is my options? I can't wait. I can't wait.
Well,
I do all
Then I'm gonna let her.
What's my top 2-3 options? Give me a couple things to pick from, and just go. Well, we can have tacos, or we can have.
She knows what's
blah,
in
blah,
there.
blah,
I
blah.
don't. I fish.
Yeah,
That's a lot nicer response.
What do
than
we
I
have
really,
in the fridge
I
that
really-
we can? That's
I
not
really-
too burdensome. Kind of.
Now he's perfect, and we're not that good. I'm not that good.
I don't care.
well, it gets more. When we come back, we'll talk about it.
Yeah, I'm gonna use that this week.
Save that.
I'll let y'all know how that works.
Yeah.
This is
We're gonna hold him down after
right.
the show and take his man card, Fred. It's okay. I'm with
okay.
you.
But
I'm helping.
yeah,
You got to.
but
I
see,
got to
I
hold him.
do all
What
the
y'all
cooking
talking
in my
about?
house.
I do too.
Well, that's
I
fine.
mean, that's the way it works.
For the most
So-
part.
That's fine, but I have an excellent cook for a
and-
wife, and that's what she wants to do.
And
So I let her do it.
That's right.
the
Mine too.
conversation is kind
I
of
burn
opposite.
water.
I'll tell you about it.
I fry stuff outside. If it's fried, I fry it. Okay, because I got the big fish fry because it's cool. All right, but we found out early on in our relationship that she's better at grilling things than me. Her dad was that person, and she hung out, learned it from her dad.
I burned
I'm
23 corn dogs in a row. I do not cook. I do not cook. I can grill now.
You got to get this going again.
Burned 20.
Let that thing save.
The wiener dog died from it because I kept feeding them. Or my partner would
This is
call. I'd be
going on
like, we
YouTube.
start talking. I forget they were on. It was a whole box of them ones you get from the store.
You burned a corn dog.
23 of them in a row.
All you have to do
Then I
is put
called
it,
my wife and said, why is the grease so black? She goes, you done burned them. It was terrible. I said, I'm
You're
done.
supposed
I
to
just
put a
went and poured
thermometer
that in the
on
lake and I was finished. I don't cook. I fish.
all right.
All right.
You ready?
So this right here, I'm using that.
All right. Segment 2. In 3, 2, 1.
We're back. So if you don't watch our YouTube channel, you got to watch this one because on the break it was funnier than the first segment. So I'm
wondered
just going to let
I
it play
looked-
right through the break on YouTube.
I looked over there and Paul's making notes, and I'm going, he must have took a phone call or a text message. Somebody's putting stuff in
No, I
his.
know what he wrote down.
I figured he was over there writing down, I got to go fishing with somebody on Tuesday. No, that's not what were you writing down, Paul?
Oh, what Charlie just said. What are my options? That's brilliant.
Well, I mean,
Using
you
that.
had
I'll
thought
let
about
y'all know
that?
how that works next
You
week.
wrote that.
Yeah, I
you
don't want
did.
to forget it.
I like going.
That was good.
Well,
I'm gonna use that.
My wife may be
If
onto
it
something.
makes my relationship with my wife better, well, I want to do that.
Telling
Because
me,
right now she asks me what I want, I go, I don't know. Or
What
I'll
do you
say
want?
something. It's exactly what you just said.
You know,
Exactly.
she
So I'm gonna do this.
my wife may be onto something when she told me a few weeks ago you've gotten more ridiculous since you started hanging out with those rednecks.
you're welcome.
There you go.
Listen, if you can bring some humor and entertainment into your
Fred has-
relationship, then
look.
it is a longer lasting, more stable relationship. And that's why I play jungle sounds on the way out the door.
I've seen Fred's wife. I have met her.
Is he out of his league?
He has no choice but to be a funny son of a gun because he is hitting so far. He's batting so far out of his league. I'm just saying, Fred,
I
you
think
better be funny.
You're not the only person that has said that.
So, yeah, you keep
I
on
met her in
being,
law school, you know.
keep on being funny.
Is
That's
she
what
a
I'm
lawyer
saying.
too, Mr. Fred?
Yeah, I was like the bad boy in law school, you know.
Oh, boy.
Playing in a band.
The lit elf.
Yeah. She never even had a drop of alcohol till she met me.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Man,
Preacher's
that's how
daughter.
you
right?
got- you
Preacher's daughter.
had to get her drunk.
Right? And she's been that way ever since. Yeah. That's why we've been married so long. I mean,
Oh, boy.
31 years coming up.
Congratulations. That's a long time.
A long time.
That is a long time. That is a long time.
That's why she goes out of town so much.
But anyway, on that Facebook post that I was referring to, it immediately became apparent that all the women were liking the women's responses.
And nobody liked your
my,
response.
And my responses were all liked by the men in the conversation, which were the husbands of the women who were responding. And so we all have that in common. It was like I'm looking down there and I'm going, hey, that thing, that response of mine got like 3 or 4 likes, and I looked at it and it was Casey Smith and Joe Baxley and 2 or 3 other people that I know. And I'm like, yeah.
Well, back to the situation at hand is you must turn in your man card on the way out the door
I'll
if
do.
you let your wife out grill you.
Well, here's the thing: is
Yeah.
she grew up. You know her daddy.
Her dad was
and her dad
one of
was
the best
a master
chef,
with,
cook, whatever, made the
and
best.
so she grew up right there in the shadow of that. And here's what she has that I don't have in front of a grill, and it is called patience.
Ain't that the truth?
Okay, she will go out there and she will do everything in phases. She's in and out of the house like 10 times to cook just 4 steaks, and everything's got to be just. And she sits there and she knows how to get everything just right. And I go out there and I fire up the grill and I just put the steaks on it and I wait till I think they're done, and then they're okay. I mean, but I got things I'm watching TV.
Well, at least
I got enough ADHD going on with me that I forget they're there.
Yep.
I don't have time for all that crap.
At least you're not.
I go, do you need me to cut up a vegetable or something? Because I'll help you with that. I mean, that's.
At least you're not burning corn dogs.
I'm not burning corn dogs.
How many corn
How
dogs?
many?
A whole box, 23 of them. Now I'd get a phone
Well, they
call
don't
and
come
I'd
in
walk
23. You must have got one right, or you're off one.
He
How
ate
did,
one
how
of
did you
No,
try
my
to
wife
cook?
cooked one before she went out of town. That's probably why.
Okay. So
Wait,
they were-
how did you try to cook the corn dog?
In grease, it's on a pan on the stove, and it's. I'd
They
get
make a
phone call.
thermometer, you know.
A thermometer. You stick
Yeah,
in
it's
grease.
a thing you
No, I
put
ain't
in the
use that.
grease and
Well,
it.
can you fry fish?
I fried some
I
last
don't fry
night.
fish.
You don't. What? No.
No, sir.
You fish for a living.
Yes, I show people where they can catch them. I don't actually bring them in and fry them up.
Oh, okay.
I eat grilled fish.
Oh, well, that's.
You don't
that's-
eat fried
that's
fish?
better.
I'd rather have grilled fish.
Oh, fried fish.
My favorite is
My
fried
favorite.
fried catfish. Get
Really?
catfish fillets.
Oh yeah, they're good.
Fry them up. Absolutely.
Speaking of
Hush
that-
puppies.
Speaking
had
of that,
to-
the river's right. We
I
need
like
be
to fry
running-
bacon in the deep
running
fryer
hooks.
with the fish. I fry bacon. I'll take bacon and put it in. I got one of those big double basket
Yeah.
Cajun whatever
Yeah.
grills, and I'll take some of that thick sliced bacon before I fry the fish, and I'll throw that bacon in there, and I'm
I
snacking
bet
on
that's
that.
good, right?
Oh, it is.
Next
excellent.
next time you get ready to do that, go to the grocery store or Costco or wherever you get and buy you a rack of spare ribs.
Mm-hmm.
Slice them up individually.
Right.
Salt, pepper.
Mm-hmm.
Get your deep frying oil at 350, 375, whatever temp you cook at. Don't
In
put
the green.
no flour, no nothing. Salt and pepper,
Mm-hmm.
and drop them over there in that grease.
What?
Deep fried spare ribs. I did not realize what a big deal that was until because I've been eating them my whole life. That was a once every couple of weeks. That was a meal we had at our house was deep fried spare ribs. You cut them, slice them up individually, and deep fry them. You fry them until they turn brown, kind of a dark colored brown. You don't want to undercook them obviously, but it happens pretty fast. But deep fried spare ribs, and I made them for some. I was telling Avery Tubbs about them one time. He started making them. Now he loves them. But I cooked some for some buddies of mine. We all got together. A bunch of us guys get together every so often over here, guys I went to school with, and cook out at my buddy's barn at Jay's his shed. We get all the men folk down there and do that. And they were like, yeah, let's cook some wings or let's cook some fish, whatever. I said, let's cook some ribs. And they said, what? I said, let's fry some ribs. And I took it over there and did that, and them guys lost their mind. I'm like, I can't believe y'all grew up in the South and you've never had deep fried spare ribs.
I mean, I've had them at a restaurant or something, but not like that. And I love to deep fry stuff. That's my
Go
thing. I'll
get
deep
you
fry.
some ribs, get a whole rack, slice them up into individual ribs, and drop them in that grease.
Just
and
plain, none of that
but
sweet
no
barbecue,
salt
nothing like
and
that.
pepper.
Salt and pepper.
You know,
I'll tell you what we do.
You can
is
thank me later.
I will do that.
Trust me on that.
I haven't put the deep fryer. It's still out with some grease in the tub next to it. The other thing I like to do is I go get and they've been on sale at Winn-Dixie over there, a bag of, and I need to go to Southern Seafood and get some.
Yes,
But
you
it's
do.
pre-peeled shrimp, and I put it in the shrimp fried. It's just for I just get at the grocery store. Just said 4 shrimp, and shake that thing up, dust it up.
You bought four?
And I drop it in that grease for 60 seconds.
The dry flour.
The dry
meal
flour.
mix-
I don't put it in
breadcrumbs.
nothing. I just shake it up in one of those shaker sifter things. 60 seconds in the grease, and everybody's like, "Oh my God, this is the best shrimp I've ever had." And I'm like, "Well, it really took a lot of work.
Let me ask y'all this: Have y'all
Took a
ever,
whole minute."
Hang on, Paul's
Yeah.
got to.
have y'all ever at my cook shack? You see, now I have a gas grill, a Traeger, a fish cooker, and a Weber grill. Have y'all ever cooked on a Weber with wood? Like a little bit of charcoal, then put the wood on top of it?
Oh yeah.
I do it with a green egg.
Well, I imagine so. But with the,
Yeah.
my buddy Wes, he's like, he cooked us a steak. That gives it a different. So
Oh, yeah.
I got these places all around the property where the people had wood stacked up. I was like, for now on, we don't burn that wood. It's only for the grill.
Only for
Yeah, you
cooking.
do it. You can buy it. They
was
out in
good.
Texas, they cook it with mesquite, like mesquite wood.
It was good.
I've started doing that. It's pretty good. But
it
you know,
is.
y'all talking about that fryer, that just reminds me of one of my pet peeves. People check the bag boy or girl at the grocery store who comments on your purchase is one of my pet peeves. And I filled up my fryer. You know, I had to change grease out.
What you need so much grease for?
Yeah, and so, you know, they were looking at
Ain't none of your business.
and I got my 4 gallons of
Don't you wish you knew?
I got my 4 gallons of Wesson oil, and the lady's like, "Oh, she gonna do some frying?" I'm like, "No,
I
got
bought some Visqueen
No,
and I was planning
yeah.
on throwing a party.
That's
like-
what I was gonna say. Yeah,
No, actually, I got
he
some
could do it with
girls.
some garbage bags. He kind of small.
I got some girls in bikinis coming over to get in the kiddie pool, and they're gonna wrestle. You know,
Doing some frying. Yeah.
yeah.
Here's your sign.
Did y'all ever notice? That?
Yeah, yeah, you know.
And I know they're just trying to be
kids and
friendly,
trying
but
to be
I'm
friendly.
like,
Don't be a jerk,
you
friend.
know. But it's just.
Well, you
Yeah.
do. That's a tall ass.
I was
right
gonna
there.
say that's.
Don't
You
be
know
a
the
jerk.
story about the frog and the scorpion. I mean,
I'm a scorpion. That's what I do. Oh boy, we hadn't had a show since we did the shoot over in Mariana.
No, we hadn't.
I also
We
haven't
hadn't.
talked about your haunted water spigot in your kitchen.
What?
Let me tell y'all something. We was over there. We put on that Sporting Clays event for the FFA of Mariana last week. So I was over at Charlie's house about three days last week, working on getting this thing set up and getting all the machines out and set up and everything. And my wife packed my lunch, and I was like, man, I'm ready to go sit in the house, sit down in the air conditioner for a minute and have my lunch. So we're sitting in there at the kitchen and talking and eating my lunch. And Charlie breaks out the venison the summer sausage and sitting there. And I'm just kind of
Something
sitting
what
there.
was that? Scupping on.
Scupping on cider. Oh boy, that stuff's good. Anyway, we're sitting there talking, and all of a sudden, sink in the kitchen. We're sitting on the island where the sink is, and all of a sudden, the water just turns on wide open on that sink, and we ain't nobody within 5 feet of it. And I kind of jumped up for a second, and I was real close to just running out of the house because I don't play with none of that hauntings and haintings and stuff. I don't like that stuff. And I was just about to run out of the house, and I looked over there at that thing, and he gets this grin on his face, gets tickled to death, and he walks over there and taps on that thing, and the water goes off, and I'm like, what was that all about? What happened? And the dog's GPS collar sits off he's got one of them touch the faucet.
It's a touch faucet, which, and I'm so used to touching it, and the dog set it off all the time. The tough part's when you're sitting there in the recliner watching TV, and the dog walks by and sets off the water faucet. You know, I don't know how long it'll run before it turns itself off, but I've sat there and waited for it to do that before because I was too lazy to get up. But if they walk by again, it'll turn it off. So you just kind of
okay.
call
You
the
have one
dog
of those?
back.
You might go there and lay down, take a nap.
But you go somebody else's house and it's got a similar looking
I was
one, and you'll
ready to
touch
leave.
it
And you'll
20
start
times.
banging on it all the
Yeah.
time. Yeah,
We'll be right
I
back.
do that all the time.
Or you do go banging on it all the time.
Grant,
You go banging on it all
can
the
we
time.
adjust this?
I was finna
Can we
leave.
adjust this? I can't see.
Yeah,
JD.
should be able to.
Hey,
Perfect.
How's that?
Well,
I
look
was
at it
I was finna leave the premises, buddy. I'm here
I
to tell you
imagine
that
so.
water started
God.
running. I was like, I got to go.
Man.
I got to go.
What kind of Zen is that? Peppermint?
Peppermint. You want one?
No, I got a
Menthol.
wintergreen.
Wintergreen.
I got on the Zen Club. I've been scanning
Yeah.
my things.
I got 5,000 some odd points
5,000.
right now.
Hot dang.
I thought I was doing good, getting close to 300.
I saw this Instagram reel of a girl explaining how if you sign up for the Zen Rewards, you can get like Amazon cards. You can you can redeem all this stuff with
I
it.
have redeemed. I've probably gotten 3 or 4 of the Leatherman Waves The Leatherman's one of the few things on there that I really like.
Really?
Yeah. I've got several of those, but I'm saving my points up right now for.
So is that every time you buy one?
You get 15 points every time
Yeah.
you buy. But
Just
here's the
scan it in your
thing:
phone.
occasionally they will send out surveys and stuff. If you sit down and answer the surveys, they'll give you like 500 points. So that's how you get.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So you have an app for them or something?
Yeah.
Well,
I couldn't
no.
find an app.
There's not an app. I'm sorry. You just sign up for their emails.
okay,
Yeah.
gotcha.
So when I do it, I just go log into my account on the internet.
Yep, that's it.
I don't know why they don't have an app.
Yeah, that'd be
I mean-
easy to track all your points.
Yeah, I mean, they got an app for everything.
Yeah.
They now have. I learned this week. They have an app for you if you're like a college kid that likes to hook up with girls.
Oh Lord.
You got this app, and it's got a thing that they have to like sign and get a waiver or a consent
Is that a consent form?
form. So if you go and hook up
Hey,
with
Robert.
Damn, dog.
jeez, again,
What dog shit over there?
I don't know.
Lord.
Just came all the way over here to do it.
Yeah, I'm only like 1,700 points away from an iPad.
Oh, you get an iPad?
I got 5,015 points
Really?
right now. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, I guess I don't know how
Oh,
it works.
got it. Oh, we need to open that door for a second.
Ready?
Yeah.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Oh,
5 minute, bottom of an
I've never
hour.
smelled her till now. Oh, my God. That's a good one. That's a good one. Or was it Mr.
He said,
Woo.
I don't know.
Woo.
Robert, you didn't fart when you
Reminds
walked
me
in
of
here,
that
did you?
coot that hit me
All
in the
right,
face.
go ahead.
Got 'em.
Woo! Bless you, Lord. Bless you, Jesus.
Go
All
ahead.
right. Yep. 5 minute bottom of the hour. 3, 2, 1.
Welcome back. What's the matter, Fred? Do you need to walk out for a few minutes?
Look how proud she is.
I know she's so on the break. Yeah, where I'm fixing to go. You might want to leave, Fred. So
Mercy.
I know what it is. Listen, I know what it is on the break. Lily, my dog, comes over here, walks underneath the studio table, and just lets one go. And it's slowly been fumigating the room.
Have you
And
been
that's-
feeding her? Have you been feeding her protein
No,
drinks?
no. Yesterday, we were out in the field. I had to go pull.
Go get him a bucket.
I had to go pull the loader out of the. I drove my loader off in a soft spot and got it stuck. And me and Dylan went over there with a bulldozer and pulled it out yesterday. And I went to pushing around, and a big old rat came running out of something. And she ate that. Took her an hour, but she ate that whole rat.
Oh boy.
And now what you're smelling,
Yeah, I get it.
it's the other end.
Lord.
I said, that's gonna smell when she gets. When she digests that. She ate the whole thing, tail to. Anyway. Good girl. Good girl. That's a good dog. Anytime I get to see Fred like that right there. Speaking of which, Paul, you still wearing that same hat?
You right.
I still
This
see
is
a
a
good
good look.
stain on
My
that
good
thing.
luck hat.
It's got
What
coot
kind of,
speckles.
what's that? Cooch
Cooch
Yeah,
speckles
I
still
got a
on it?
few more. I
Yeah.
didn't take it off.
Yeah,
You
good
can't
for
wash
you.
a good fishing hat. You just
No, you can't. Just get.
I
they
suggest
broke
anybody
in when you
likes to
see the
fish,
sweat stains
come down and
around.
get one of these Talon hats that holds. I mean, this thing's staying together. I've been using it every day.
I hope
There's
your,
a reason
I hope
I'm
your
not a
wife
doctor.
watches this episode. You can't listen to this one. You got to watch it. You all right?
Mercy.
Yeah, I'll be okay. Take me just a minute here to recover. I just
Oh man, that was good. That
Those
was
bad
good.
smells,
We
they
got
just-
nothing.
I think the wind was blowing that way because I didn't even smell it. Not that I want to.
No, it came
I'm
from
good.
it was
came
right.
up
I mean,
down
it
here,
was
sort
like
of.
Came down
wafting
here and
up
seeped
through.
out underneath the
It just
table.
got on me. I mean,
If you'd had some thermal, you could have seen that come out of her and rise right up underneath Fred. He got the worst of it.
I'm gonna have to get some milk or something. I mean,
You got some of that Clar Brune water.
yeah,
Why? What kind of brand is?
I got it out of your
That's
cool.
Pepsi.
It's
That's
Pepsi
Pepsi
water. But I think they bought that name brand. It's their private brand for Pepsi bottling. And I'm like, well, why don't you buy something we can pronounce?
Clar Broom.
Clar Broom. It's water.
I wonder where it's made.
Clark.
Well, at what part during the water production cycle do you? It comes out of the sky, and then, anyway, it's.
No, it's purified by reverse osmosis.
Well, there you go.
I thought that was one you could see into the future.
I just got a text. My wife is working the midnight shift tonight.
Uh-oh.
So you gonna dress up like a lion or something?
Well, I reckon I'm gonna have to cook.
Tell her to listen out because it's Friday night and I got tickets to the Leonard Skinner Dale Bessie
the Dale Bessie concert.
No, Dale Bessie. What? Dale Bessie hooked me up with some tickets.
Yeah,
Y'all relax.
Dale
hooked me
the
up.
way you framed it, the Leonard Skinner.
So Dale calls and offers me tickets to a baseball game, and I don't watch baseball.
I do.
And then so I said, call JD, give them to him. So he gives them to him and gives him Leonard Skinner tickets, and I don't know nothing about all that. But you asked for those.
I rarely specifically pull in favors from iHeartRadio, but
I don't go anywhere.
Leonard Skinner and ZZ Top.
That's going to be a good
Well,
one.
Dale is our Tallahassee area sales rep for our radio stuff. So
I was about to try to say that before I was so rudely interrupted by you people that are in here. Yes, Dale hooked me up with some tickets, and me and some buddies are going. My wife wouldn't go to it for nothing, but she said she would Uber me.
she would Uber
So
you?
when they sing that song, ZZ Top, Sharp
Dress Man?
Yeah.
I'm sure.
Think of this. Every girl's crazy about Fred Conrad.
I most assuredly will not. I most assuredly will not be thinking that, Fred. I had to listen to the compilation songs this morning. That's what I rode to work on was ZZ Top and Leonard Skinner. So, yeah, I'm looking forward.
One of
to
them
it.
died though, didn't he?
Yeah, the bass player for ZZ Top.
Yeah.
A bunch of the Leonard Skinner folks did.
Oh yeah.
We'll be right back. And we're back. So Grant's the producer of this show, but I sometimes feel like the director sitting over here because if I don't say, hey, let's go ahead and get started on this segment, we'll spend an hour and a half in here just having sidebar conversations, which are funnier than the show most of the time, but they're also very, very politically incorrect sometimes with Fred in the room. JD and I aren't like that, and Paul's certainly not. But I want to take a minute
talk
to do it
about
on
influence.
I wanted to talk about. I wanted to bring something up on the last segment, and this hit me hard today, and this is truly a solemn moment. But I didn't want to do it in this section where we talked about dog farts, so it's just improper to do that. Jay, do you remember Rick Barnes, the sales manager at Chipola Ford, sold us our 2 trucks?
Yeah.
Well, he passed away this week.
Oh man.
At 64. And I didn't know about it. I knew there was a big funeral in town. I didn't know who it was, and so I missed it a few days ago. And it kind of.
I'm sorry to hear that.
I was just having a conversation with him the other day, within the last week or so, texting back and forth about a vehicle. And every time I go in there, Rick was always stop whatever he was doing, and we'd hang out and talk for a little while. And if I needed anything, he always bent over backwards to help me. And I saw him and his wife at the grocery store not long ago, and we were just hung out there. I think it was a Sunday or something. We just stood there and talked for the longest time. And actually, the last conversation we had, I was suggesting that they buy some Grillo's pickles, some of my favorite pickles in the whole world. And they had this conversation about it. And then I said, let me just walk over there and get you here. You need to buy these and take them home. And I hate it when, we lose people all the time. And the older we get, the more we lose. But, it just for some reason, it struck me really hard. I had my few solemn moments on the way over this morning because I just really, really liked Rick. I mean, I just one of those guys that I just enjoyed talking to, and I'm sure his family, my prayers for you. I know and the thing when I heard it, I think people younger than
that
us
ain't
go
that
all
far
the
off,
time.
is it, Fred?
I'm just,
It's 7 years for me, but at this point in my life, 7 years is a lifetime. I mean, that's a long time. But it's anyway. So, folks, enjoy I mean,
Make-
that's
make
the reason
every minute count.
we do everything we can to have fun, enjoy ourselves. I was talking to the Comcast guys the other day on the phone about.
You actually
our
got one on the
service.
phone?
They called me.
Oh,
They called me, and super nice guy. Now our contract's out, and so now it's month to month.
Oh, okay.
So now they call. Actually, they've been trying to get it with me for a while. Robert sitting over there is the one that deals with all that stuff all the time, and I don't get involved. But when they start calling me, I'm like, yeah, we'll have a meeting, and we talk. And by the end of it, I said, listen, we'll do this, this, and this. We talk business, and after that, I said, because we've got bandwidth issues. We're producing a radio show out of there. And I went, well, what channel is it on? And, where's it at? Where do we find it? Where do we stream it? And I said, y'all got to understand, it's not politically correct. We say what we want to say pretty much. We don't worry about much. I mean, I don't think we're going to lose any business saying the things we say, and Paul's certainly not. He's a fishing guy. He's out on the lake and God-fearing Christian and all that now. And everybody knows you, so they're not going. They expect this stuff from you.
It shows the level of depravity that he's willing to go to, and if he, that's what I look for in a defense attorney.
oh yeah.
Well, we suckered Grant into producing this thing, and but radio they just changed their name and be a whole new person next week if he had to. So he could be this.
Well, I wanted to say thank you to
Welcome to Preston Scott Show with our new producer, Bob Jones. It'll be the same voice.
I wanted to say thank you this morning to Grant for not telling on me for the stupid thing I did Wednesday morning when I had to be on Preston when I was on Preston's show.
And now you're going to tell us.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Now you're outing yourself here.
Right. So, but he didn't do it. So it's okay if I tell the stupid thing I did. So Wednesday morning, I went to bed Tuesday night, knowing that I had to get up and go to the show. Right, go do the show. So, and I have normally without any, I can basically say, okay, I need to get up at X time in the morning. Now I don't have to set a clock.
Yeah.
It's rare for me to have to set an alarm clock. If
kinda
I
like
know
Richard.
I got to get up early,
Yeah.
I get up early. And for whatever reason, I woke up an hour. Not an hour and 10 minutes, not an hour and 5 minutes, but exactly 1 hour earlier than I needed to get up.
Your body wasn't on daylight savings.
That's exactly what I put it to, So I woke up an hour earlier at 5:45 instead of 6:45 because I had it programmed in my brain, wake up at 6:45. Get up, get your shower, get your coffee, get your dress, get da-da-da, and go out the door and go to the radio show. So that's kind of how I go about life. Except I got to the show at an hour early, and I walk in, and Grant goes, wow, you're here early. And for the first time that morning, I went and looked at my watch and go, I'll be in my truck taking a nap. Just call me. Y'all have fun. I went out to the
Sat
radio.
in Preston studio and watched him work his magic.
I went out to the truck and turned on the radio and listened to it, and
Watching him-
hypothetically maybe took a little nap.
I feel
Grant,
bad. I feel bad how we do our show when I go in and watch Preston do his, because he's got his notepad and all his stuff, and he has this agenda, and he does everything, and he's prepared for everything, and he takes
called being a
time every day.
professional.
He takes time every day to get prepared and get all his stuff lined up and everything, and he's got the things he wants to talk about, and and there's a certain amount of in each hour. There's a little bit of recapping and different things that he does because there's different time frames. People don't just get up in the morning and listen to the whole show and go to work. They catch part of it driving in. And he has this whole way of doing things for like 5,000 and something times he's done this. And then we do it our way. And I think probably the least amount of preparedness goes in our segments. He probably thinks about, because he'll shoot us a text, what you want to talk about? And I'm like, I don't know, whatever. We'll just whatever you come up with.
Yeah, he's never texted me.
And he'll have radio, well, because he knows you, and he listens to this show.
What time do you get into work for that show, Grant?
I clock in, usually try to be there by 5:30.
5:30.
Yep.
So I get you up.
A.M.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just going to bed
Early
about
mornings.
that time.
Early mornings.
What time do you have to be in?
Well, I own my own practice.
So that's why 5:30 is bedtime.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Unless I have court, then I go to bed at 4:30.
Hey, well, maybe we shouldn't comment on that. I was looking, saw something locally went viral. There's a
Yeah, I
trial
saw
in
that.
town.
If
I had $1 for every bottle of beer or liquor that I poured out in my law enforcement career, I could retire.
I don't know the whole story about it, but I did see the video and I did read the report.
Mm-hmm.
And the report says the officer found a open bottle of, it actually says vodka. It was cognac that they found. The bottle was not open when the officer pulled it out of the.
That bottle wasn't open.
That bottle wasn't.
There
open.
was another bottle in there that most assuredly was open.
I don't know.
I saw it on the video because there's 38 minutes of video.
You see the whole video?
Watched it, yeah.
Okay. I hadn't seen. I didn't know.
It's
and so I didn't.
Well, let me ask you this: in a DUI case, if there's alcoholic beverage in the vehicle, is it beneficial to take that and send it off for testing, or you just basically
no, you don't.
No, so who
typically what happens
in my mind, who cares if you poured it out?
Let me ask you this.
So what I normally see on a DUI case where they find open alcohol in the car, they will take that alcohol, stick it on the roof or the hood,
yeah,
and then stand there with a cam or take a picture of it, that kind of thing, just to show that, hey, we found this. It doesn't prove that you were drunk. It doesn't prove that you were sober.
Did that person blow or
no?
Did not?
No field sobriety. No breath.
Yeah. It'll go away.
Here's the thing. What is the likelihood that any police officer in the United States of America would go to the trouble of planting evidence to make a misdemeanor arrest that's going to take them 4 hours to complete? Because that's why most cops hate DUIs, because it takes so much time for a misdemeanor arrest, and then you got to go deal with Fred Conrad at the deposition and deal with Fred Conrad at court. It's
I've seen officers fudge DUI cases before. Now, it doesn't happen all the time.
But the allegation is planting evidence.
Yeah. I mean, of course, we saw that in Mariana, a couple of years ago for meth.
Cocaine and meth and whatever else, and that's at least...
It's disturbing.
It is. It's always disturbing any time it happens. But
well, you're going to have a rogue officer from time to time that's more concerned with statistics than they are justice. Yeah. But, hey, we'll be right back. And we're back. So we transitioned from DUIs to boating under the influence on the break, and got some professional legal advice from the attorney in the room.
Yeah, the boat. I've actually. That's what I was in Panama City for the other day. It was a boating under the influence case.
Really?
Huh.
Yeah, they do some. Those cases are pretty hard for FWC. I mean,
unstable ground. You can't do a lot of field sobriety exercises on the boat.
You say, well, the guy couldn't stand it. It was waves.
You couldn't say, well, he crossed the double yellow line or anything. He crossed the boundary. No, well, everything's swaying, and and most people on boats are drinking at some point in time. So how much is too much? But we concluded that Captain Paul can't drink on charter stuff. That's kind of like being the taxi cab driver. You're hauling them around. They're doing whatever they're doing, but
that's right.
You're the
that's just
consummate
like the
professional.
Class D chauffeur license. If you're a Class D chauffeur and you're driving a limousine or the van or whatever, you can drive with them drinking in the back. That's perfectly legal, them to drink in the back, but you can't drink.
Yeah.
While you?
I never have.
I know on our van that we go on hunting trips, there's some drinking going on in the back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But y'all probably have a dozen.
I mean, it's not me or you. I mean, we're not like that. We don't do stuff like that.
No, but I'm lit.
Anyway, so what's going on in the fishing world?
Man, the fishing has been great. Lake Talquin, the crappie are still bedding. That bass are starting to move back out a little bit to the first drops. That's been working pretty good. Carolina rigs, crankbaits has been working good, but Seminole, I tell you, it's really getting good. The bite's been really good all March, but it's been a little muddy, but it's finally starting to clear up. And the fish are still bedding. The shell cracker just went on the bed this past weekend.
Well, hello.
So that's starting. So be ready, JD. When I come across them, we're going to go one afternoon and bring Mama again. That was so awesome with her that one time. But that's really working good. And as I go forward, we're getting into different type lures going to be working, like frogs. And so if it's okay with you, Charlie, I'd maybe bring some props to kind of show This bait's working. This is how to work it as we go forward.
I'm probably
Like
running
now
I'm
or
probably
later?
running.
No, not now.
Okay, I was gonna say, I
Like, give me
don't
about
see
2
any-
minutes. I run in the
Yeah,
back. I
that's
got
what
a
I was
gonna
stash.
say,
You know what I'm
you
saying?
got some. You got something with some hooks in your pocket over there, or what? 'Cause I didn't see
wanna,
any.
I want to do that next week. But
They're
I
biting
would-
frogs.
Yes.
Say, is that a
Have
frog
you
in
been
your
hearing
pocket?
any frogs around your lake?
Yeah, I hear.
Yep, they're biting frogs. It's time.
There's something down there by the lake. I'm hearing it now. It's going.
Yep, that's them. That's bullfrogs.
I thought it was an ex-girlfriend, but
Well, I'll tell you something else is going on that you'll hear this time of year is you'll hear something that sounds like somebody cranking up an old 50-horse two-stroke.
Yeah, I've been hearing that.
oh yeah, he's
Yeah,
out there.
Have you ever seen the alligator, a bull gator do that? They'll get just under the water and they'll do that low grumbling into the water, just vibrating above them
yeah.
like this. The first time I ever saw that, I was like, "Ooh, we fixing to give him his whole."
That's
The
right.
old bull gator would get right up under the water and do that, and you can hear that for miles. But if you ever seen it before, in the water, he's
Yep.
doing it, and the water starts vibrating on his back. Oh my gosh, that's
Yeah, we've got one in the pond this year.
as
about 8 feet.
As I was coming to work this morning, we've got the pond right out here by the interstate. That's part of our property. Then we've taken over the years. We've probably had, I don't know, 6 or 7 gators that we've taken out of that pond. Gotten the licensed trapper to come get Lane Stevens to come get them.
Oh yeah.
And one of them was just over 11 foot, and was, according to the guy the processor, that gator had lost a foot of tail to something earlier in his life. So that was a huge alligator. But I saw a big one in the pond out there that has, this time of year, alligators will get displaced from wherever they live. If a
that's
bigger
right.
gator moves in and he
That's
says,
right.
I got to go, is for them it's go or die. So they go. And I saw a big gator in the pond. So I will be doing further investigation on that and probably be calling FWC because I won't let one get in that pond out there with around as many people as we have out here
Oh,
at the
you
range.
imagine? Yeah, you can't.
Over
you
8
can't have
foot,
that.
8 foot or bigger, he's got to go because
Yeah.
they're at that point. Their kids and dogs are
Yeah.
on the menu, and just don't let it happen. So.
Yeah, the one we've
right.
got's been keeping Anhingas in check, so I'm.
Well, and that's the downside to us taking the gators out of the pond like we have is that now we have beaver problems, so we've got to start. We have to deal with the beaver issue. If you take all the predators out, then the beavers move in, and then they cause us all kind of headache.
Well, if you get the beaver, let me know. I want that pelt.
We have taken a pile of them over the years out of there. We've trapped a whole bunch of beaver out of there. But
I bought a beaver pelt in South Dakota.
yeah, you did.
Still got that beaver. Sitting in my house.
I tell y'all guys, I had
Stop, Fred.
how much time we got? Because I want to talk about this young kid I had with me.
Yeah, go ahead.
Earlier this week, he was just 9 years old, and he was autistic, and he's never fished before, and it was the wind was blowing out of the east. You know the old saying, when the wind blows from the east, the fish bite the least, and it was just brutally tough. And usually when the people get on my boat, I give them a little aluminum crosses. I think I gave you one, JD, and your mom. I give those to people, and I forgot to do that. I was too worried about the weather. So I get to the spot and we're fishing, and granddaddy catches a bass. The worm was bigger than the bass. It was terrible. And so we're fishing. I get up and I go give them their crosses, and the little kid goes, "Do you know Jesus?" When I gave him his cross, I said, "Yes." And he goes, "I do too." And we started talking about Jesus, and I said, "I prayed this morning that you would catch your personal best bass." He goes, "Well, that won't be hard. I never caught one." I said, well, maybe this is tough conditions, I'm like, so I just backed down. Let's see what the Lord was going to do. It was crazy. I'd throw out for him, and he'd hold the rod. Then all of a sudden, that rod bent over, and he caught him one about 2 pounds, JD. Then I said, now he was so excited. I mean, I'd live for that, Charlie. You like working with you're so awesome. And I said, now I pray that you can get a second one. There's going to be another one. So you believe. He said, I believe. So about 5 minutes later, that rod went down. He couldn't even hold the fish up. It was he said, and then we got done getting the fish in. He goes, "Why didn't you give me that cross when we first got out here?" It was awesome, but it was so awesome. Just sit back and say, "Lord, if this is gonna happen, you make it happen." And it was incredible.
Awesome. That is
incredible.
Last time I went on a fishing charter, they gave me a trans flag. I didn't catch anything.
Well, yeah, we don't do that up there. Yeah. We're too conservative.
So we find proof in our daily lives, Paul, as you know, you know, there are times when you just turn a corner and something you've been looking for, wishing for, wanting, just falls right into your lap.
Yeah.
You know, and it's those moments that are testaments to.
That's a big old fish.
That's a picture of the kid with the.
Oh, that's awesome.
He was
Oh,
so
my
big. He
Lord.
said, "Mama, you got to help me hold
that
it."
thing's half as big as he is.
6 pound better.
And the guys to understand, we shouldn't have got bit. It was that tough. It was amazing.
Yeah.
Now you might say that was coincidence, but I choose to believe that was the Lord showing out.
How many
Yeah.
pounds do you think that thing is?
It was 5 pounds, 4.5, 5 pounds.
Looks bigger than that.
Yeah, I know. That was awesome.
That's a pretty
There's,
fish.
there's JD holding this beaver right there.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Now is that your pond or the pond here?
He's having a hang
Pond
on
at
to
the
it.
range here.
Oh yeah, okay.
What'd
Yeah,
you do with that beaver?
Hey, y'all cannot have big gators in that pond. No way.
Yeah.
You
I
skin
wouldn't
that
think.
beaver. And,
Well, you mean like it's
Can't
physically
have it.
impossible, or
No,
we
like,
can't allow
y'all
it?
need to make sure
Oh yeah,
that
no,
gets
we
taken
don't
care
want.
of.
We got people shooting out there. We got kids walking down to the
Oh,
water.
absolutely.
If y'all send me those pictures, I'll be happy to, and I can blur the faces if I need to on that. But
Okay.
I just want to show the we can put that on the YouTube channel, which is y'all missing out if you don't watch it on YouTube. I'm just saying.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I don't sit up here after Grant's gone and everybody leaves, and I spend my Friday afternoons fighting to get that thing done. It's now I did miss a couple shows that I will go back one day and do. We did 2 shows in one day, and I had a vacation to go on.
Yeah, I caught that. That was a couple of years ago. I caught that beaver in a snare down there. But we
That's legal, right?
yeah. As
Okay.
far as I know,
I
it
just
is. I
wanna
guess.
make sure.
It was
They're
a
gonna
trap.
show
I caught it in
Grant's,
a trap.
does the YouTube
I
channel
had
show
nothing
Grant's,
to do with any of that.
Does YouTube channel show Grant's seersucker jacket there?
No, he crops himself out right there.
Yeah,
He can
he
lean
needs-
over there. There you go.
That's a good looking
He
jacket.
can
Dressed up
he-
mighty sporty.
I can tell when I'm editing the video when he leans forward, because it used to, it would autofocus.
See my nose.
He looks
Well,
like
it would
a,
autofocus
He
when
looks
he
like
would
a
lean
young
forward.
Southern lawyer, don't
He
he?
does, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You got a blue one?
Well,
on
I
there?
do declare, sir.
Yeah.
What's a ute? What's a ute?
Identical.
That's got to be one of the greatest movies of
Oh,
all
it's,
time.
it's procedurally
My cousin-
correct.
I got a question for you. I was listening to some Jimmy Buffett